Elizabeth Báthory was born on August 7, 1560, into one of Hungary's most powerful noble families. Her parents, George and Anna Báthory, were both members of influential clans, and she grew up in wealth and privilege. Her childhood was spent in the grand estates of Écs and Szent, surrounded by opulence and political power. Despite her privileged upbringing, Elizabeth's early years were marked by the turbulence of 16th-century Hungary, a land divided between the Habsburg monarchy, the Ottoman Empire, and the Principality of Transylvania. She was exposed to both the sophisticated culture of the nobility and the harsh realities of a violent and superstitious era, which would later shape her infamous reputation as.
At the age of 15, Elizabeth married Count Ferenc Nadasdy, a Hungarian nobleman and military hero. The union brought together two powerful families and further cemented Elizabeth's influence. The couple resided in the Székely Castle in what is now Slovakia, a stronghold that would become infamous for the dark rumors that surrounded her later life. While her husband was away fighting the Ottoman Turks, Elizabeth managed their vast estates and wielded significant power in her own right. She was highly educated, fluent in several languages, and adept at managing her lands and affairs. Her intelligence and independence earned her respect, but they also made her a target of envy and suspicion in a patriarchal society.
The legend of Elizabeth Báthory as the Blood Countess began in the early 17th century. According to accounts, Elizabeth lured young peasant girls to her castle under the pretense of offering them work or education. Once inside, they were subjected to horrific torture, including beatings, mutilations, and other unspeakable acts of cruelty. The most chilling aspect of these tales was the claim that Elizabeth bathed in the blood of virgins, believing it would preserve her youth and beauty. The stories of her atrocities grew over time, fueled by the testimony of servants and villagers. It was said that Elizabeth's victims numbered in the hundreds, though the exact figure remains a matter of debate. Her castle was described as a place of unimaginable horror, its walls echoing with the cries of the tormented.
In 1610, rumors of Elizabeth's crimes reached the Hungarian king Matthias II. He ordered an investigation, led by Count György Thurzó, the Palatine of Hungary. On December 30, at 610, Thurzó and his men raided Kőszege Castle, reportedly finding evidence of torture and several bodies. Elizabeth was arrested along with 4 of her servants, who were accused of aiding her in the murders. Elizabeth's trial in 1611 became one of the most sensational cases of its time. While her servants were subjected to torture and execution, Elizabeth herself was never formally tried, likely due to her noble status. Instead, she was sentenced to house arrest, confined to a walled-off section of her castle. She spent the last 4 years of her life in isolation, dying on August 21, 1614, under mysterious circumstances.
The case of Elizabeth Báthory remains one of history's greatest enigmas. While the accusations against her are horrifying, many historians question the veracity of the charges. Some suggest that the stories were exaggerated or fabricated by her political enemies, who sought to seize her wealth and lands. The absence of concrete evidence and the reliance on testimony obtained under duress cast doubt on the true extent of her crimes. Elizabeth's legend, however, has transcended history. She has become a figure of myth, immortalized in literature and popular culture as a vampire-like character. Her story blends the real horrors of feudal power with the fantastical elements of folklore, creating a lasting and chilling legacy.
Elizabeth Báthory's name is synonymous with cruelty and excess, but her story also reflects the intersection of power, fear, and superstition in a volatile era. Whether she was a ruthless murderer, a victim of a political conspiracy, or something in between, her life continues to fascinate and horrify. Her tale has inspired countless depictions in books, films, and legends, cementing her place as one of history's most infamous figures. In Hungary and Slovakia, where she once ruled, Elizabeth remains a figure of dark fascination. Her castle ruins attract tourists and ghost hunters alike, drawn by the enduring mystery of the Blood Countess. For some, she is a symbol of unchecked power. For others, a cautionary tale about the dangers of rumor and hysteria.
Elizabeth Báthory's story is one of the most enduring and unsettling in history, a blend of truth and legend that continues to captivate the imagination. Whether as a monstrous villain or a misunderstood victim of political intrigue, she remains a symbol of the dark side of human nature. Her legacy reminds us of the power of storytelling and the enduring allure of the macabre.